Welcome in, everybody. We are back with a special guest for tonight's live stream. Eric from One Clue Short of a Treasure. Welcome in tonight.
Howdy, howdy.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, as cheesy as it is, I'm living the dream.
That's right. You are living the dream, Kobe.
Figure we'll give it a minute or two to kind of send some notifications out. You know how YouTube is. It's kind of wonky with that. And I haven't been doing live streams lately. You know that too.
Yeah.
So my bad. People aren't used to it. Little random tonight. But I think we're in for a good show tonight.
Nice. Yeah, it's great to have me, and for a special occasion too.
Yes. So today officially marks 1 year since I became a full-time nomad. Basically what this entire channel has kind of been about in some sense. Starting the channel back December 2020. Basically just wanted to do Route 66, fell in love with the nomad life, and ever since then I've been trying to get to this exact point. So
well, congratulations, because it's no small feat. I mean, what you've been through, I haven't followed you the whole time, but I've been following you for quite some time now, and very inspirational, to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It definitely comes with its highs and its lows. We'll talk about that today. We have a little highlight video I'm trying to find right now that I prepared. But my two favorite treasure hunters, I got to pull that up. Welcome in. Two favorite treasure hunters and YouTubers. Absolutely love it. And we will be talking about that tonight too. Outside of some reflecting, one of the biggest reasons, Eric is really the perfect guest, okay? Let's just take a moment and really acknowledge that, because the last year, as I was saying, filled with highs, lows, ups, downs. One of the coolest things is getting to meet people as you're constantly traveling all around. And if it wasn't for me taking that leap a year ago, I never would have went to Colorado. I never would have looked for the Forrest Finn tribute box from There's Treasure Inside, never would have made my video. And Eric can attest to it himself. If it wasn't for that, we probably never would have crossed paths. It was that video that really kicked everything off for the two of us. Doing some reflection. As we go into year 2 of my nomad life, I am still focused on that Forrest Finn box, you guys. I cannot stop thinking about it all day, every day. It is driving me nuts. And I'm determined to beat Eric to it. He wants to eat. He wants to eat out of that olive jar, but man, no, yeah. I need it first.
No, so, I want to eat out of the George Washington jelly glass.
Oh yes.
AT box. I don't know.
So we'll talk about some of my most recent thoughts. JCB, as some of you treasure hunters may know, did a treasure con back in February. And Eric, of course, has talked about it. The community's talked about it quite a bit. I haven't gave my personal updated thoughts. Eric and I have talked privately about it, but I think tonight's a good night to kind of talk about that as well.
Yeah.
I see Theo coming in saying good evening, everybody. Good to see you.
Right,
good to see you as well. And I see my uncle coming in as well. Can't wait to get back out to Arizona. I have no use for regular life. Yeah. He's my nomad partner, but he is back in Michigan right now. Turn that AC, it's squealing. He's back in Michigan right now while I'm having all the fun out here adventuring to national parks, working at national parks, and all that fun stuff.
It's probably hotter in Michigan than it is where you're at, because I'm in North Carolina right now, and it's like 94 degrees out today.
Yeah, it usually is. Today was 74 here in Bryce Canyon. So Eric knows this, but catch some of you up. I went on a trip today to celebrate. Took Rocky and we went to Capitol Reef National Park. And I have to admit, out of the mighty 5 national parks here in Utah, I was kind of researching, and when I came out last fall, we did Moab. Speaking of highs and lows,
I think you froze up a little bit there, Kobe.
looks like my Starlink dropped. I apologize, everybody.
That's right.
Just got plugged in, so hopefully
that's right.
Fixes the issue. But yeah, I did Moab last year. Almost got stuck with the camper because it was flooding. I went down a dirt road. It was a miracle that I didn't get stuck out there. Because of that kind of stuff, I ended up getting 24 hours. And I had 24 hours to visit Canyonlands National Park and Arches. Canyonlands wasn't very impressive to me. Arches was phenomenal. Today, going to Capitol Reef, I was blown away. I honestly thought this might be one of bottom of the list for national parks, in my opinion. It is actually towards the top of my list now. The drive to get there was absolutely gorgeous. I got a lot of video that you guys will see in the future, true fashion cinematic travel vlog. The history there's orchard where you can actually pick fruit, and if you eat it in the orchard, it's absolutely free. But if you want to take it home, they charge you a very low price, and I have never heard of a national park doing something like that. So all around was just absolutely blown away with that stuff.
Yeah, the picture you sent me was just absolutely gorgeous out there.
I had to get one sent to you because you've been sending me all these pictures of all these beautiful places when your boots on the ground. I was like, I think I owe him one picture.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Okay, I'm looking here. I think I got our highlight reel or video good to go. Exported. Yeah, here we go. So we'll drop down for about 5 minutes is what this highlight video is. And then afterwards, me and Eric will come back up and we'll talk some treasure. See if we can find that Forrest Finn box finally. Let me share my screen. And I got to make sure I share the audio as well. I was just telling Eric I am not used to using StreamYard anymore. So bear with me, everybody. This is a little new for me. Okay. There we go. Maybe do full screen. That's not bad. This was my favorite spot.
And the dreams that you dream of once in a love.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely free.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I wish
I remember that video.
wake up with
Yeah,
the
this was
clouds are far
M25
behind.
kicking it off with a nomad gathering.
Where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow.
Ah, there it is.
Bluebirds fly.
Lion's Share and Forrest Finn I've technically searched for.
Yeah.
I would love to get back and spend some serious time in Colorado.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dream
Still wondering if it's there.
Never know. I don't know. Once you hear my stuff, you might reconsider the location. That's a really good picture.
Thank you. I was amazed I got to finally see those edibles. All the time I've been out west, I had never seen them.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them
Of course, Joshua Tree, Slab City.
Yeah.
No one has solved my Slab City hunt yet.
Not yet? I think I might have. I'm going to have Laura do that on the way home.
Get a second copy of TTI that's autographed for you.
That's a 9.5 hour drive home, so I'll have her watch your videos and figure it out.
I did reveal the total for episode 1
I
too.
saw that.
So
I saw that. And I was way off too, because I was doing part 1 when I was at my old job.
The colors of the rainbow.
I really forgot how much I did this last year.
That's amazing.
The faces of people going by.
There he is.
Yeah.
Man himself.
Did he give you any secrets?
Well, the fact he signed it in black, I'm still wondering if that's a hint. John Collins black, Black Sharpie, right. Coincidence?
Yep. The bear spray.
Ups and downs, up and down. Do not recommend. The rest of it, sure, recommend 100%. Bear spraying yourself?
Speaking of bears, we saw bears when we were looking at houses yesterday.
Ooh.
A mom and her cubs on the property.
You're a magnet lately.
I know.
And that's where I'm at right now. I actually just drove that road about 15 minutes ago coming back.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Little highlight reel. And before we talk treasure, I got to see if I could show you.
Oh, look at Rocky.
He's tired.
I bet. It's like Biscuit. We stopped twice on the way down. That's it.
Okay.
He slept the whole way.
Jeez.
Granted, we left at like what would we left? We left at 3:00 at night and didn't get here until 3 a.m. because, 2 stops and the time change.
Yep.
It was rough.
At least on the way, well, you gain an hour on the way back.
Yeah, we'll pick up an hour on the way back.
The pros and cons to traveling across time zones.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I see Todd here, living the dream, living free and searching everywhere, extremely happy. Thank you, Todd. Searching everywhere, I'm definitely trying. That's one of the pros to being a nomad, is if I get the options, I will definitely try to wiggle my way to somewhere that I think has the treasure. In my case,
really quick, not to interrupt, but did you see that John's going to be taking questions? He's not doing an interview on anybody's show, I don't think. The details weren't released, but
okay.
Pro said to get your questions in on their Discord for him.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Definitely have to do that. Because let's kind of start there a little bit. I do like that.
I don't think
so. Eric and I, like I said, we talked privately back when GCB did the Treasure Con in Las Vegas. And Eric himself was there for that. I was a day late and did not get to watch it live. But having an inside man here, I kind of texted Eric and I was like, what's the scoop on the Forrest Finn box? What's the latest? And Eric might remember a little bit more than I do, but I know one of the things he talked about was elevation, and a lot of people thought that was a really big one. It was something along the lines of if it was between 5,000 and 10,000 feet, correct?
Yeah, like the original 10,002 is just like Forrest Finn's.
Yep. And his comment was that it may or may not more or less kind of be somewhere in the middle of that range.
Then he said like exactly or something to that
effect.
So.
And that's kind of why everyone was freaking out about it. And when Eric told me that, my reaction, and I kind of told him, I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. When Eric told me that, I kind of went, if anything, I'm kind of mad he admitted that. And in my eyes, the reason why is because as a original Forrest Finn hunter, I didn't really talk about it in my video, but I was looking at, say, the picture of him and Kimberly in the book. It's somewhere in the Rockies. You got some trees behind them. I was taking that picture into account and going, okay, those trees can be found typically between this elevation. And then when you go back to the original Forrest Finn box, he talks about smelling like sagebrush and stuff like that. Well, sagebrush is found during this elevation. So in my mind, I was already convinced, okay, it's somewhere, we'll say 7,000 to 8,000 feet, give or take. And I guess on one hand, it's nice to have possible confirmation of that. But on the other, I was like, man, now everyone has that. Eric originally thought Colorado, and now I'm curious because he's been thinking New Mexico a little bit. So you don't have to share all the details if you don't want, but
it's
anything you're willing.
I'll share what I got in the pocket.
I'm excited to hear, because for me, New Mexico, and I hope this doesn't shoot you in the foot, I'm guessing you've probably heard it at some point. The original Forrest Finn, he said something along, it was like 66,000 links or something north of Santa Fe, which is approximately 8 miles north of Santa Fe. And personally, maybe it's confirmation bias here, I'm always like, that leaves practically none of New Mexico. So I really haven't paid much attention, and that's where I'm curious what you've come up with.
Well, I've been digging into this quite a bit because I don't have any plans in the immediate future. I don't think it's going to be found this year, honestly. My own personal opinion is there may be people that are very close and we don't know. But as far as my personal opinion, it's not going to be found. And I am still digging into a tea box. So, but I do want to figure it out, because when he says all he needs is a poem, I want to figure that out. I want to at least say on the channel that when it's found, hey, I was right. Not to gloat or anything or stuff like that, but I want to personally say that to myself, if anything, too, that I figured it out. And I found a lot of stuff out about New Mexico in doing this. First of all, I didn't realize that New Mexico had the topography as it does north of Santa Fe. I thought it was all, because I'm not from the West. I don't go out there often.
Yeah.
And when I was doing research, I was blown away. I was also blown away by the elevation, though. There's a lot of elevation above 10K. Okay. So that being said, I went to trusty old Cal Topo, and I learned this from you, Kobe, is to filter out the elevation to help me find, because I have some things that tied into pretty specific areas, and all this stuff I haven't really talked about. But it's a special show, and I figured, anybody in here now, is gonna know at least my opinion on it, because I haven't talked about it much on my channel.
Yeah,
it's probably one of the most least talked about. I did videos a while back, but they were different. That was when I was all Colorado, and part of me wanted to think that because he said in the book, one of the first edition, Santa Fe, Arizona, that was a Freudian slip, not a nod to Arizona, but maybe it was just subconsciously thinking about it. And so that sort of tickled me, my fancy a little bit on it. But then I'm thinking the wording is very specific in the poem, and I know I get hate comments and emails all the time when I talk Forest Fen, and I respect the original Forest Fen hunters. So this is no dig or anything to anybody's opinion or whatever. But I thought, since he says all you need is a poem, this poem is written in typical gamified JCB way. And I know it's based off where he was searching. I get that. But does the clues also have to tie into that type of solve?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it does.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, then shame on me. I won't find it, but I will plead my case, because when he says beginning where cool water flows, right?
Yes.
Everybody,
give me just a sec.
Yeah. Because this is supposed to be where the clues, right? But I do have. I'll get into my other parts where John says the poem's more circular, because everybody asked if it were linear or not. He said no, it's more circular. So I think it does tie back to that. But depending on how much I babble on,
you're good.
But beginning where cool water flows, everybody's and myself included originally was going, where could cool water flow be? Let's do this in a location based solve, right? Seems the obvious. But when I thought there's a ton of places between north of Santa Fe and Montana, right? It could be anything. So this is where I think John is using his wordplay. Because I had read that chapter over and over and over again, and had a lot of stuff. So begin where cool water flows. Well, I said, well, I was doing some research in north of Santa Fe, and lo and behold, there is an actual place called the Red Chili Water. Chili spelled Chile.
Okay.
But the key details about the Red Chili Waters is that it's special trout waters. These are a part of New Mexico's water program, the STW, Special Trout Waters program,
Interesting.
which includes red chili, green chili, and Christmas chili classifications.
Okay.
Red chili waters typically feature the most restrictive regulations, often restricted to artificial flies and lures, blah, 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 things like that, right? So could this be cool water? And it could be warm water, because chili could also mean hot, but I'm taking it as chili meaning cold, right? And there is a specific, and also the trout could be brown where once was brown, because it's going to circle back to that. So I was thinking, where are these chili waters, right? And it's in the Dao National Forest. It's spelled Tao, but it's pronounced Dao in Chinese and Do in Japanese, right?
Okay.
So could this be another clue, right? So where the path is drawing nigh, well, Dao means path in both Chinese and Japanese. And Japanese is also the puzzle box, which it was inspired from. And if you do draw or derive from the chapter, which he said all you need is a poem, but he didn't say there couldn't be any leaders into the chapter. He talks about in his first paragraph how he had went to Japan, like he mentioned earlier in the book. So I'm thinking Japan is now tying to the path is drawing nigh. So this is a nod to Dao, and there's a and Dao is where the beautiful trees are, and it looks just like the trees where John was at, and there's elevations within the fen zone, if you want to call it, right? So we have chili water, and we have Dao is drawing nigh. So we got those in there. And it stopped me if at any point if you need some clarification, so I don't babble on and
you're good.
Live stream.
Trying to just zoom in, but also not give everyone the location, because once you tell me this, I might just go to New Mexico instead of Arizona for the winter and spend 6 months.
It's something to think about, because there are compelling things on here. Now, when you go back to the cool waters, because this is where you're beginning it, right? There's specific waters, including the Cimarron River, the Capulin Creek, Jack's Creek, which has Highway 63 crossing upstream. And you have the McGowan Creek and the Nabor Creek / lake. And I haven't really researched some of these, but the Highway 63 on Jack's Creek is a place that I would recommend doing some research in. Because there are also locations in there within that fen zone. So this could be a cruise along a road I know. Right? It's cruising around 63. I don't know if it's a highway or a route or anything like that. And being that the cool waters flow, the Chile, waters could be that Jack's Creek that goes through the Dow forest over there. So see where this is going. This is all tying in to this area. And that's where I sort of left it at with those clues. But then it started to make sense when I did the loop around, right? So if you go through, and I mistakenly didn't well document this because I was multitasking, and anybody that knows Eric does not multitask well. But I do have some notes somewhere, and and this is what is sticking me within this area. And as soon as life slows down, Kobe, a lot's going on in my life now, new job, moving, things of that nature. I don't have the bandwidth for Forest Fen right now. So I'm officially putting this off, at least my serious deep work. And that's why I figured I would share all the legwork that I've done. This is probably, 5-6 months worth of work. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it was pretty in-depth stuff, What are your thoughts on those?
I appreciate you sharing first and foremost, and I do have to say, I love how at the beginning you were talking about how you weren't kind of really expecting the forest there north of Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, as I zoom out of my map, I've kind of been around a little bit, but I have never been up to Santa Fe. I've been all over the area nearby.
Yeah.
But I've never been in this region here. So I was kind of in that same boat where outside of the, there's not much of Santa Fe. It's not worth looking into. I was also being naive in the sense that I've driven this route multiple times, and for the most part, it's just desert. There's nothing there. But as you said, there's all of this forest up here. Plenty of spots where a treasure can be hidden.
Now, I wouldn't discount Carson National Forest, but for my beginning, where our cruise along a road I know, that's all I had for that one. But there can be other ones, and there's Chili waters, STW waters everywhere in that area. And I think there is some in Colorado too, but it's specifically for this area. And there are some beautiful places. I have not been there. And as you know, and everybody else knows that has been boots on the ground, knows it's very important to go boots on the ground anyway.
Yes.
To confirm these. So I'm not even in the recon mission stage yet. But my gift to you for your your anniversary and for what it's worth, I will be a resource as you figure this out. And when I have time, I will dig into it more and stuff like that. See, we could, what?
Definitely.
If I was independently wealthy and this didn't drop like my whole life savings into this new house, I probably would.
That was the one thing I'm like, I might just have to pick up some of Eric's stuff. And then, like I said, if I go, we're in a spot, you guys, where I could literally get to Colorado or this part of New Mexico within a single day, no matter what time of year it's in. And trust me, if I'm convinced enough, I mean, Eric, you've already seen it over the last year of me being a nomad again. If there's something I'm determined to do, I make it happen.
You're very determined to do it. I've watched your Forest Swim video, and that's how I met you. It was like, I think in October or something of 25.
Yep.
And what really inspired me was I didn't know how to use Caltopo at all. I don't know. It's not hard, but it's with me, I have to dig deep and understand it.
There's a learning curve, I think, because the only reason I really started to understand stuff was because thankfully my photography instructor from back at the college that was a coworker, he hired me on to do a wedding with him at one point. He was the first person to ever visit 1,000 waterfalls in the Upper Peninsula. And a very large portion of that was taking maps and seeing elevation changes, and he learned how to read them. So when it came out to Forrest Finn again, and you guys have heard this story, Eric's heard it, I know for sure, I kind of didn't want to get down this rabbit hole again because I get obsessed with it a bit, to put it lightly. And eventually I just could not shake that off anymore. And at that time I reached out to him and I said, vaguely, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm aiming for. How would I go about doing that? And he really helped me, but I kind of struggled with using those maps as well.
Well, what I found was, and so you know how to do this. So I would recommend really tightening that elevation to like 7,000 to 8,000 feet.
Yep.
Because you gotta account for any error or misreading judgment.
Yep.
And that's what I first did. and I'm only focusing on that area. So it's easier for me now to hyper focus on it, because when I do a solve, I don't want to prove that I'm right. I want to find ways that I could be wrong. So I could then not waste a lot of my time on it. And being, I do a lot of I have done in my past a lot of investigations in different injuries and occurrences in industry over the past 30 years. Is, there's a method to gathering information, and you really have to remove your emotions from it and just stick with what you think. Just the facts, right? Just the facts, man, as they say.
And that's where I've been working lately, because going back to my original forest fin hunt, I only got 1 day. That video ends with Rocky getting extremely sick. I honestly didn't know how things were going to play out. So the treasure hunt rightfully got canceled for the rest of the trip. I got 1 day boots on the ground. And now I'm looking back, and you don't want to have those pre-notions. You don't want confirmation bias. You want to keep that open mind. And that's where I thought, okay, the biggest open mind I could have when it comes to the forest fin box. Originally, I was one of the people that thought it was up here in Montana or it was in Yellowstone in Wyoming. That was me back in high school. This new box, I'm thinking Colorado all the way, but the point is, I've never, ever, ever considered New Mexico at all. And here Eric was with some good thoughts, and it was very interesting to hear you go from, I think it's Colorado to no, you know what? I'm switching. I think so. To hear that and really kind of come out of left field from my thoughts, I just love it.
You know what really? So here's a little fun fact. When I first started JCB's book in December, I was researching forest fen box more than or not more now, but as intense as I was doing the Appalachian footpath box now, up until probably April. So about 5 months I was, and it was then I realized that it could be done a different way. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I sort of backed off a little bit until I figured out, because that's when I was ready for the Appalachian footpath one and I really want to dig in. That's a whole different story. But so now I go back to it. I'll dedicate some time here and there, at least once a week. I mean, I don't spend an awful lot of time, but I at least spend a couple hours a week. And to me, it's easier for me then, and it clears my mind a lot more, where I can now go back with a fresh view, even though I still have all the data and stuff that I gathered from the last time.
Absolutely.
And it's low stress because I'm not anxious to try to find it right away, because I'm convinced myself that it's not going to get found this year, possibly, depending on what John is going to reveal in the upcoming months or years. Will determine how quick it picks up, because it could be the next big box that everybody's looking for. It could be the one that somebody's 200 feet from, like the Pokemon box or the Appalachian footpath box. But barring that, go ahead.
The thing to keep in mind too is I have to agree with you. I hope that I could go boots on the ground in September and I can find it and be like, oh yeah, somebody's going to find. I don't think so. Not even me, because if we look at the original forest fin, forget all of the, we'll say, controversy of the location, but people were searching all over the place, and that ran for 10 years. There was bound to be people, no matter whether it was Yellowstone or somewhere else, there was bound to be someone, like you said, within 200 feet or whatever, like they are with the new TTI, some of the boxes. And I just don't see somebody going boots on the ground for the very first time and finding it on their very first go.
No,
that's not realistic.
Yeah, like 3D Bronze was talking about it on my live stream, and I went on the record then saying I don't think any of the boxes are going to be found this year.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong, right?
I got to prove you wrong.
But because, I mean, it's one thing to figure out the solve, but it's a whole, now you have to repeat that on boots on the ground, because you're not going to go out there first try and find it. I mean, I find that hard to believe. Because
I agree.
He hid them. He said he hid them so they wouldn't be accidentally stumbled upon. So, and they're not that big.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it's in the poem here. No, I think it was something he revealed at Treasure Con. But I remember there is a hint from JCB that basically when you read the poem and you get to, we'll say, the correct location, he said it's not a very big search area. No, it would not take much. So also keeping that in mind, and the fact you don't want somebody to accidentally stumble across it, that means, it's got to be very well hidden.
Yeah, it's a point. That's a good point, because you never know. I mean, I feel that you're going to have to at least go out once, a minimum, just the first time to establish your bearings on the trail, and and then second to actually go, because we don't know how far into the trail you have to go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find my original location, because you recently went boots on the ground for the Appalachian Trail. For those who don't know, he's got several videos. You definitely should go check those out. The reason I'm looking in my location right now, here we are. Let me pull this back up. One of the first lines you mentioned in your boots on the ground video was that something along the lines of, like, you weren't trying to prove yourself right, but you were trying to prove wrong in a sense.
Yeah.
And I messaged you the other day. This was the original location that I searched for the Forrest Finn tribute box.
And that's a lot where I was looking on my research when I first started this book.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are focused specifically on Browns Canyon. The one thing that I
had an Airbnb booked, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Right before my trip to Germany.
Nice.
Yeah.
We had it's not popping up. So right here, this mountain range, maybe it'll show better on satellite. This mountain range right here is known as Buffalo Peaks. So in my mind, short rundown was, okay, cool water flowing from the top of the mountains. You take it in this canyon here, which has a lot of the roads just up and down, taking in those rolling highs and lows. You're passing by a place that once was brown. The reason those mountains are called that was because it used to be a very popular area filled with buffalo, but now they don't there's not a single wild herd of buffalo in Colorado. So it was brown, it's no longer brown. And if you go put in right below the home of Brown, well, right below here, we had campsites and stuff like that. So you pass beyond the Camper's Blaze, and I was thinking it's got to be in this area. And I messaged Eric the other day, and I kind of jokingly cursed out JCB and Forrest Finn a little bit, because I'm like, oh my God, I overlooked the most simple detail. In the original Forrest Finn poem, he says, if you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So in the wood, if we go back to my location here, there's no trees, there's no woods, it's nothing, it's desert. So, okay, you got some bushes and stuff like that. I don't think that's what the original Forrest Finn poem meant, and therefore why would JCB be searching here?
Well, here's why I thought, okay, not just because it's Johnson Village, but zoom in and go west a little bit. Okay, okay, stop. Zoom in a little more. Now scroll up. I don't know if you can see it on here, if it'll pop up on your
This
other
way?
way. I'm sorry, the other way.
Okay.
Okay, it probably won't show up on here, but here's what I'll tell people that are watching at home. First of all, this is a collegiate mountain range that's west of here.
Yes.
And when I was more focused on the chapter, he had thought, you know, you would have to be the things he wanted to be if he could clone himself, right? So we have, but he said, you know, if you want to be an what was it, not archaeologist, I think it was something like that, or I don't know, I got it wrong, but he said it required, you know, more education or something like that. So so I thought maybe the collegiate mountains will line up. But then he goes, when I wanted to figure out what I want to be, I typed in, he specifically said he typed in Google, right? Ask Google. He typed in, he doesn't say I just checked the internet, right?
Yep.
There is and this is a total coincidence, that there is a place that's called the QWERTY whatever, right? It's a lodge or something like that. And QWERTY is a type of keyboard, QWERTY.
Okay.
With Dvorak and QWERTY.
Interesting.
Or was it Dvorak? No, it was the Dvorak place, right? And I thought QWERTY was the nod to Dvorak.
Okay.
Place, right? And that's when my mind was like, oh my gosh, right? And that's when I was convinced myself early on that I had armchaired it, right? And but I've never, you know, but later on, after he said all he needs a poem, just like an Appalachian footpath box, all he needs a map. You know, I sort of, you know, abandoned those clue leaders. Now I could still be wrong on it.
Well,
there's Colorado Trail or whatever over there too.
Yeah, here we
which
go.
I
This
also
is
thought
better.
it was on there too.
So a key way it still fit into my solve was he says towards the end of is it? Stop just beyond the camper's blaze. Okay, that's what we did. The spot is set with marvel gaze. So I'm like, I'd call that a marvelous gaze.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of seats and stuff like that. So I was wondering, okay, going in, I was like, the only two things I don't have is a thinker's stone is all you need, and a white mark shows upon the seat. And I thought you have to find that when your boots on the ground. But going here, even before this recent rivalization of in the wood, having gone boots on the ground, going back to your recent series, I went there, and even though I only spent one day, I immediately I don't want to say knew, because of course no one knows where it is, but I knew that it wasn't in this area where I was searching.
Right.
It just, when you go boots on the ground, you're thinking, okay, where could he hide a chest? And you talk about that in your series. And as I'm doing that and asking those questions in this location, I determined this area right here is not a good location. But one thing I did love was that right past it, you have Mount Princeton. And over here, you get more of that forest and all of that. You got some waterfalls, very scenic, but there's hot springs all along here.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that was
similarly what brought me to that area too, Kobe.
I need to go back. I never got the chance to search the hot spring area. So I am still questioning that. But Eric, I don't think I've really told you this one yet. This is going to be new to everyone coming straight out the gate. You can see I already got some stuff bookmarked up here. I was looking in Central City area. And I apologize. People might get mad at me because I don't know the exact details off the top of my head. It's a long shot. I'm throwing things left and right, thinking outside the box, seeing where stuff lands. Well, back then, a lot of people watched my video, and I had people reaching out to me and, oh, this is my thoughts. This is what I'm finding. And there was a woman that kept coming up, and her last name was Brown. And a lot of people just kept bringing her up, and I never fit her in. So I was like, let's go down that rabbit hole. And I learned she had a key role in Central City here. And I'm like, okay, well, there is some forest around here near Central City. There's some campgrounds. If we're talking Campers Blaze, is that the right Campers Blaze? I don't know, but there's campgrounds, good to consider. And I kept scrolling in, and all of a sudden I found this, and I just kind of laughed because it's called the Hidden Treasure Trailhead.
Yeah, yeah.
How ironic would that be?
Yeah. Well, if you scroll up too, if you close that out, there's a pickle campground to your, yeah. Scroll up a little bit more. I just saw it. Yeah, Pickle Gulch.
Cold Springs Campground.
Yeah, like pickle jar, right? Pickle
Gulch. So
he calls it.
Well, I'm looking too, and okay, if we go back to the original poem again, once you've found the destination, he says, near here it's nestled all in dream. I've other treasures left to hide. I'll miss the golden bending stream, but I must go back to my ride. And I'm thinking another thing based off my last search area was it was more of a parking lot. You pulled into a parking lot, you had to buy a pass and this and that. And when he says I cruise along a road I know and park my car just off the side, to me it sounds like it's nothing super big or super official. And if we pull up satellite here, nothing too crazy, more of just a small little versus me, it was a whole thing. You had to pay for parking and all that. And I'm like, okay. Because again, I pulled that up. I read the name and I laughed thinking, how ironic would that be? And that seems like something I would do because, God, would that be hilarious after the fact when everyone realizes that's the trail it's hidden on.
Yeah.
Well, you can see there's a bridge that brings you over here, and North Clear Creek runs all the way around this road here. That creek, that specific creek right there is where the Colorado Gold Rush started.
Really?
Golden Bending Stream? Maybe.
Yeah.
And I look it up. You can't see it on here, but there is a hiking trail. It's about 2 miles long that follows all alongside the river and then comes up the mountain. And I'm like, okay, so, it'd be right next to a river where he would be searching for heavy loads originally. And I took it a step further. I went onto YouTube and I typed in the trail name, this specific trail that follows the river. And I found one video out of all of them where somebody was mountain biking from the top all the way down. And I swear, the background looks because the way you're coming down that mountain, it opens up and you see other mountains and like trees and stuff behind you. It looks very similar to how JCB and Kimberly could have taken a picture on that mountain and got in that background that we see in the book.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Did you try it checking all trails and seeing that?
That's how I did find it. Let me close that for now. It wasn't all trails, but there was one that was similar. I think this is it right here. Yeah, there we go. When I was in Colorado, that original spot I learned was many trails in Colorado don't show up on Google Maps or whatever. You have to use All Trails.
Yeah.
But if you want a lot of information on said trails, you have to pay for a subscription and all that. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I found out by visiting a visitor center that Colorado has its own map or app that has every single trail throughout the state. So I pulled this one up, and the trail's called the Mill Site Trail. So you could see that's much better how it follows the river all the way around, and then eventually it breaks off from the river and kind of goes up the mountain. But I'm looking, and okay, you're kind of a little far away from the river. You're looking about right here is the spot where you're following the river. So almost half the trail, guesstimate 1 mile in, you're pretty much following the river for a mile straight, right alongside of it. And the biking video I found, sure enough, did confirm that. You are right, like crossing over the river sometimes. You're right there. But the thing is, too, you could see elevation here, 8,400, 8,600. It fits within the range, but my other point is it shoots up pretty quickly right here.
Yeah.
So what I saw in the video is when you're facing, we'll say north, your left side is pretty much just steep rock wall.
Yeah.
You can't walk up it. You're not going to be able to search it. Then to your right, you're going to have a little bit of forest area and a river. So, hey, if you find the correct location, it's kind of a small search area. You just got to be thorough, I think is what he basically said. That also kind of checks that box a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, 3D Bronze is in the house.
Oh, thank you, 3D. Very appreciated.
We're lucky that 3D Bronze is not looking for that box, so he'd be telling you to go to like Michigan or something.
You guys, you and 3D fight over the Appalachian Trail. No one focus on the Forrest Finn box. Leave it to me. I call dibs. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about this, but here's the thing. Okay, at first, let's go back to our original maps. It's easier to see, I think. So I'm okay. We had a woman whose name was Brown. She had a tie to Central City. So you pass by a place that once was brown. You take in the rolling highs and lows. I did Google this road, and it said it was a canyon. So, you know, take it in the canyon round. It's kind of checking all the boxes. And then all of a sudden I messaged Eric again, and I cursed out Forrest Finn just a little bit more. Because even all this time later, at this point, I've been probably treasure hunting in some way connected to him for 15 years. 15 years later, here we are, and he's still kind of laughing at me because you know what I just realized? Passed by a place that once was brown. It works for the JCP poem. It does not work for the Forrest Finn because he says in that one,
Homer Brown.
Put in below the home of Brown. Yeah. Okay. Well, Brown did live here. That's her home. But can you say that's below the home of Brown? I don't think that's below.
Yeah.
So once again, Forrest Finn is laughing at me and making me question where exactly do I want to go? If I have 1 week and I could swing it, because I looked and it's about an 8-hour drive I'm down here right now by this star. It's about an 8-hour drive to get anywhere in Colorado here.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
I'm not
Plus,
sure.
you're going through the mountains and stuff.
Very much so, which I wouldn't have the camper, but when I left, I drove from the Blue Suitcases here all the way to Moab, and that took me 12 hours with the camper because of how hot my transmission was and needing to pull over.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine.
One thing I do want to talk about too, I think you and I have talked about it a little bit. Oh, it disappeared now. The Rio Grande. I recently heard from somebody, I think it was on Eric's channel, don't quote me. Somebody said that JCB started his forest fin hunt fall of 2016. And while that might not seem like a major detail to some, to me, I'm pretty sure it was on Eric's live stream. I was watching, and as soon as I heard it, I went, oh my God. Because the original forest fin, a lot of people thought it was along the Rio Grande River. And if I remember correctly, I think there was somebody or a couple even that sadly passed away searching along that area. So in April of 2016, Forest Fin officially announced that it was not near or connected to the Rio Grande. So I think that also helps this hunt because now we can eliminate that search area as well.
Yeah.
And if I pull this back up, like you were saying, when you type in the elevation and all of, you're looking at elevation, you're looking at water, you're looking at where could you smell sagebrush? Where could the trees be that are in the picture? There's not much. I mean...
Yeah, because you filtered that out on one of your maps you showed me, right?
Yep. I have a couple that I filtered myself. This was more public. I don't have access to my private collection right now. We'll call it that. But I basically took this map and took it a step further. And yeah, it narrows it down more and more.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because, you know, that's another thing that really sparked my inspiration for using the CalTopo maps because of the different. Now I have the free version because I don't use it that much. And also Veil Hunts is a similar thing on there. I don't know if you can filter out things like that, but on theirs you can also do the polygons and the lines. Now I've been using recently, and if 3D's Bronze is listening now, he may want to close his ears because I don't want to, you know, discourage him any more than he already doesn't know he should be discouraged. But I've been using a lot of the functions on CalTopo to tie in some new items I found on the map that I haven't personally seen myself, which is pretty big because I've been looking at that thing in my sleep. And I have some other things that I'm testing out now that, you know, could be a, you know, confirmer, you know, for some other locations. So, but there'll be more of that later on. Right now, I'm taking a little break because of everything going on in my life right now, with all that, you know, getting stuff ready to move and things like that. But yeah, it's a really good tool on there, and I think it's even a better tool for doing. Eric is collecting confirmation by his keepsakes. Okay. I think it'll be more of a help though, because of the parameters in the fan box. And you know, with CalTopo, with a free one, you could do a lot with it. You know, I don't think you need for the things that you're paying for. You know, you don't really need to for those functions on it. 3D Bronze is not going to be, you know, once that box is found, I don't know if I'll find it, but when it's found and it's not found in in Vermont. Now, I am willing to say, I am willing to concede if I do happen to come across something and it does confirm Vermont, then I'm more than happy to. I'll even have him on my show. We'll have a whole live stream dedicated to just me and him, and I will make a public statement that he was right, and we will walk through that and solve and things like that. But I'm not losing any sleep over that, though.
I have to side on 3D a little bit because you're saying New Mexico. I'm still, for the life of me, thinking Colorado for the Forest Fin. I know you guys got a little bet going on for the Appalachian Trail. I'm trying to get it to a point where you're so convinced it's New Mexico, and I'm
yeah.
We could go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm not at that point on the Forest Fin. Like I said, I wish I had more time to do it, but yeah, I don't. And that could change this winter, though.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, because if, like I said before, I don't think any of the boxes are going to be found. Never in a million. Oh, this might even inspire me more to be right twice with 3D. I mean, he doesn't have a channel with a reputation at stake. He just has cool boxes that he makes. People are going to buy them regardless if he's right or wrong. I got a little bit more on the line.
Speaking of, I do still have to order original Forest Fin box from 3D. I have been eyeballing that for months.
John didn't know Santa Fe was in New Mexico.
I get that he said it was a error and whatnot, but that is something I can't shake. Like, how do you, like you said, Arizona must have been on his mind for why Arizona?
No, it wasn't necessarily Arizona. It was that he was writing in Santa Fe, and and that was probably a clue, and he made a goof on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because to me, having been an original Forest Fin hunter like JCB, I cannot imagine you getting that wrong. I remember reading that book the very first day, and that was the first thing. As soon as I said Santa Fe, Arizona, I put it down and I was like, that's got to be a clue, because there is no way you would screw that up.
Yeah. I even got some other recon mission from, I was watching a Treasure Hunt with Us, right? And yeah, he didn't correct it forever. Yeah. And that's why he did, because if he did, then people would draw attention to it. See, 3D Bronze is knowing that. But I took Treasure Hunt with Us, their first video interview with John Collins Black, and Emma had come off on a Pokemon box and said, I'll take this. And Emma asked JCB about, she had said, well, we went to Hemden Hollow or Buffalo National River, because that's where you hit it or whatever like that. And when I took that clip, upscaled it in Final Cut Pro, and took it frame by frame. I redid it at 60 frames per second. Mm-hmm. And I zoomed in on it, corrected color, everything I knew how to do in Final Cut Pro. And to see if I could get a rise out of his eye. So I took a baseline of what other questions he did, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't write any code or anything, because I don't know how to do that. But I did pay attention to it, and I watched it. I spent a couple hours on this.
Yeah.
And I slowed it down. And when he said, well, when Emma said, whether it was like Hemden Hollow or that in Buffalo National River, you can see a twitch in his eye, and you can see something that was different than any other time where he had to zoom enhance, right? Yeah, yep. I did a bunch of that stuff. And I even saved it in 5K so I could upscale without losing any distortion or anything.
Yeah, because everyone has a tell.
Yeah, there was something there. I haven't posted or anything. I did it. I have done this a couple months ago, And I need to relook at that, because at some point I do want to at least come up with a solve. I doubt, like I said, well, I could tell you now, because, and I don't want to take any thing away from your live stream, but we did buy a house, so it's official. Yeah, it's a mighty nice house. So it's exciting. So all my time and resources going into that. But
and
anyway,
that gives 3D some time to go find that box.
well, I'm not going to give up AT box. Well, he can go find it all he wants, but it's not in Vermont. So it's good that he's going there, and it's good that he's trying to convince other people it's there, or at least prove his point to the fact that he convinces other people, because then everybody's going to keep going there with the hard visitation rights of Biscuit. Biscuit is not on any bet. He's not going to be on any bet.
You would need to do a new logo in the whole 9 yards.
Forget the new logo. It's Biscuit. He's my dog.
I don't know, Rocky.
Rocky up on a bet.
I don't know. I think I'm confident enough it's in Colorado, and Eric's wrong. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Look at Eric like he's crazy.
He's like, Kobe, don't put me on a bet.
Look at him.
3D Biscuit.
Staring me down.
Yeah, he knows you're up to something.
He knows normally when I talk to the computer, he gets the T word.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been a while.
You have to eat more of those jelly bellies that taste like
oh my God,
boogers or earwax.
I still have them. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it.
You got to do another live stream of those games soon.
Yeah,
I really enjoy those.
It's tricky this season. The new job's going really well, so I guess moving away from treasure hunting a little bit and also looking at year 2. I'm currently at Ruby's Inn in Bryce Canyon. I was working at a rock shop, now working at a general store. General store is going much better for me. I just think my expertise and everything is much better fit there, because I really don't know anything about rocks. But the schedule kind of fluctuates, so I can't say, like, honestly, outside of Sunday night when One Clue Short is live, I'm kind of up for grabs, because that was the one thing when it came to the job. I said, nope, Sunday nights, no go. That is the only time I blocked out. I said, absolutely not. I will not work Sunday nights. You could have me any other day, any other time but Sunday nights. So I think for the next 3 months, pretty much, because I work July, August, and through September, I will be working here. I won't be doing those live streams, unfortunately, just because I don't have a consistent day and time. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of my schedule right now. So in my last cinematic video, I just arrived to Bryce Canyon. So you guys are going to start seeing more of my stuff, like today going to Capitol Reef. You're going to see Bigfoot. That's another one. Eric got to watch my Bigfoot video. That is part really of a cryptid quest. And that the winner is announced end of August. So we're about 2 months away, we'll say. I have been eagerly on the edge of my seat. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I seriously think it is my best work, you guys. It's a whole new level that I poured into that video. I always pour my heart and soul into my videos, but this, man, focusing on one video for 6 weeks made a difference.
You know, I have to say that, I'm not just saying this because your anniversary here. I mean, because how I met you was through your Forest Femme video. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed that. Like I sometimes go back and watch it again, But when you sent me that Bigfoot one, you caught my attention. And that's the type of content. I mean, I like all your content, but that's the kind of content that gets me excited to watch over and over.
Yeah.
Because the storytelling you do on there
Thank you.
you're great storyteller. I mean, you read your book, you'll know that, but your videos, the way you grab people in and set that excitement and what suspense, right? What's going to happen next is yeah, I'm like speechless. I'm just mumbling over my words because I can't wait till everybody sees it, and until it's out and the full version of it. It's really well done.
Thank you.
The storyline, the cinematography in it, how you well, I'm not going to give anything away on it, right? But just watch it when it comes out. I would be surprised if you didn't win.
I appreciate that.
I don't understand,
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I cannot deny how excited I am for it. And excited in the sense that with the contest, there was very, very specific rules. And one of those rules, for example, was that the video had to be 10 minutes or less. My entry for the contest was literally like 10 seconds away from that limit. I used the full thing. It's jam packed. I tried to make it suspenseful, and I get what you're saying because even like today, going to Capitol Reef and doing that kind of stuff. Yes, I like making those cinematic videos and sharing with you guys what's out here and the history and the cultures. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but like how those videos get you excited, those are the ones that get me most excited, as well as these Bigfoot, the Forest Fin, TTI, because they have those stories behind them, and I feel like I can do better justice than, say, a cinematic travel video. It's very hard to make stories, I think, of cinematic travel. I just try to bring people along for the ride versus these videos. I want a story. I want people outside of Eric. I had my best friend, actually, Trevor. Shout out to him. He does not believe in Bigfoot at all. And I picked him as one of the people before I submitted it as well. And I said, watch it. And by the time he was done, he's like, you actually made me think twice. Eric has said similar, reading my book about the paranormal. Like, that is my favorite compliment in the world, is hearing somebody who doesn't think or believe in something necessarily, and then they see my work and it makes them pause and go, you know what? Maybe. Not a yes, or just maybe. And I think I did a really great job with that in this Bigfoot video. And I do plan on making an extended version because there's so much to it that happened behind the scenes. Like I said, it was a 6-week project. I couldn't fit that all in 10 minutes. So I'd love to share more.
6 weeks, it's not 6 weeks after my full-time job. This is what Kobe does. Right? I mean, he's a full-time nomad. So it's 6 weeks of long days, right? So it's way different. And then may I add to your video, I won't give away the part of your video.
Yeah.
You have evidence in your video. I mean, this is the first time I've seen the evidence you had in there. I mean, I had to rewatch it and go, wait a minute, because I'm a skeptic at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And
I am.
When you had that, I'm like, this isn't a prop. I know Kobe doesn't have access to this high level of props, right? You literally found, and it was like an unexpected find as you found it. It wasn't like a setup or anything like that. This was a real thing. So,
it's kind of like you said, it was 6 weeks of living it. That's why I wanted to learn about your New Mexico solve, because if I become convinced that it's in New Mexico, I will admit it is very much easier for me to get to New Mexico than it is to go through the Rockies and get to Colorado. And I will, if I am convinced enough, consideration will spend 6 full months searching for that treasure chest and doing nothing more. from moment I wake up, moment I go to bed for 6 months. I love being in a position that I can do that. But the Bigfoot, yeah, it's kind of like boots on the ground, how you go scope out an area and, okay, could this area work? I was doing the same thing. I was like, I'm only going out for an hour. I'm new to the area. I want to scope it out. I want to see where would it work, where wouldn't it work, and I stumbled across something that I didn't even have my camera ready yet. I literally stepped out of my vehicle and my heart dropped, and I was like, oh my God, and I need to grab my camera as quick as I could.
Yeah, you had your bear spray on you too and stuff?
Yep, I had my bear spray, and I do have a non-lethal, it's called a launcher, kind of like a gun, shoots like pepper spray bullets, stuff like that. I took lots of safety precautions because there were times where I went out, like you didn't see this in the video, so I don't know if you even know it, Eric, but there were days where I went out until 2 a.m. and I'm sitting in the middle of the woods. There's nobody around. There's no lights. It is literally just pitch black out there. And I'm sitting there, and there's mountain lions around. There's other animals around. So I really, like I said, took it to a whole new level, and I really think it shows in the video.
I mean, think about it though, Kobe. So, being out here reconning for houses and stuff, there's no mountain lions, there's no grizzly bears out here, but they're black bears, right? And from the Midwest, I don't see those. You are out west though, and there are mountain lions, there are grizzly bears, right? There are things that will kill you, and you're also by yourself.
Yep.
You're not in a group of people,
which I would not advise, for the record.
Right. But I mean, think about it, and I think this is what really is important to emphasize. Not only are you're making these videos, right? Because you see a lot of types of videos like this on YouTube, and there are times where these are staged, they're set up,
yes,
they're done with a group of people.
Drives me nuts.
You are by yourself with your dog, with a camper, and very minimal protection, and you're out at 2 a.m. by yourself. I mean, think about that when you watch these videos, because that's another component that I always think about when you go to Slab City. You're going into a place, if anybody doesn't know what Slab City is, look it up, but you're going into a place where YouTubers aren't liked.
Yep.
Because every YouTuber and their brother wants to get the money shot off of Slab City that it goes viral, right? Yep. So they're often portrayed in post as not good people in Slab City. And you went out there by yourself with your camera. And that takes a lot of courage.
That was, I think I talk about it even in my original Slab City series. The very first day I was there, we're talking years ago when I first went there, the first thing I was warned about by somebody who lived in Slab City was, and I quote, "Watch where the hell you point that camera." Yeah. And it wasn't him being mean. It was that dangerous.
Yeah.
And I don't really like talking about that side of aspects all the time, but it does play a crucial role. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff with that Bigfoot hunt, being out there by myself, would not recommend. I knew the risk, and I weighed the risk, the rewards, the potential, like every aspect of it. And I tried to, you do safety. I tried to come up with as many safety precautions as I can, as simple as, hey, do I always have my thumb on the alarm button to my keys in case I need to press that alarm at a moment's notice to scare an animal off, or like every single thing I could think of. There's a lot that goes into them.
Do you know what we would do in safety? How to do a hazard assessment on this? Know what our outcome would be? Don't do it. Don't do it.
That was me. No, going into it even. And that's part of why I want to do an extended version, because I will spoil this in a sense. because you don't see it in the original version, but I do have shots where I am armed with the bear spray or armed with my non-lethal launcher, and I heard something, and you literally see me. I'm wearing the GoPro on my chest. You see me jump, and I start singing like, "Oh, sunshine, lollipops, and I need to get back to the vehicle." And you hear and literally see my fear in real time, and it just shows exactly why you should not do what I do, because while nothing went wrong, there definitely was potential there, and that's part of when I did call it quits. I don't even know if I ever told you this, but when I finally called it quits, I found some more evidence, we'll say, and at that point something happened, and I literally, Rocky was in the vehicle. It was not, that's the other aspect. People see Rocky, German Shepherd, big dog. He's protection. He's also a risk. So I was in an area where it was too dangerous to let Rocky out of the vehicle. So that tells you something. And something went down, and I got to my vehicle as fast as I can. And once I got in my vehicle, I literally said to myself, you are not doing any more. You have enough. It is not worth any more risk. You're done. And that was the end of the conversation.
No, that's mad props to that. Like Todd said, that's
you.
A lot of courage to do that. You just got to be careful out there, and you don't know, and anything could happen. It's the wild, right?
Yep. But I do see we're coming up on an hour and a half. One last thing I do want to mention. So we got our Bigfoot, we got our forest fin, treasure hunting, all kinds of Bryce Canyon stuff coming up. One big thing I want to promote is the Great Cycle Challenge. So those who don't know, that is an organization where you bike and raise awareness for childhood cancer. I have been participating in it for 9 years now. I am honored as a champion through the organization, and today is also a very, very big day for the organization, because today officially marks registration opening for new riders. Now, you do get to set your own goals for how much mileage you want to bike, how much fundraising you want to do, and it officially doesn't take place until September. Usually it's only just the month of September. You can do it early like I am if you want, but I highly recommend going to greatcyclechallenge.com. I'll even put that in the comments here for anyone who wants to. And registration is completely free. It's for a great cause. And I don't remember the stats off the top of my head. We'll talk about it in future videos, but something like the federal cancer funds and whatnot, only about like 4%, somewhere that low, is what actually goes towards childhood cancer. And that's just mind-boggling to me. So this is a great way to actually genuinely help the cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause, Kobe, and what you do is above and beyond. You don't see a lot of people put their money where their mouth is, and you're living a nomad life. It's not like it's money's flowing in left and right. Now, what I'll do is on our upcoming live streams, we'll put a challenge out to our viewers as well, that we'll do some kind of matching thing.
Thank you.
To do. I'll go around a couple times, see what I think works, and we'll put it out in a live stream, and we'll do a donation, and we'll do like a matching donation as well to help
appreciate that,
raise that.
That is a big thing. Next Tuesday I'm going to have a video coming out talking about match day with the organization. It is one day in September, usually September 10th, where the organization itself matches money. And every year I match money as well. As Eric said, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't guarantee what I'm doing right now. Minimum, I'm going to be donating 250 out of my pocket. I would like to match at least up to 500 personally, no strings attached to anyone or anything. That is just something I do every year on that same day. Because say if I could raise $500 with my community and then I matched their 500, that means $1,000 was raised that day. The organization then matches that $1,000, turning it into $2,000 raised for childhood cancer. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of information coming out on ways different people can help, sponsor, donate, and I'm just going to have some fun videos too. Biking into Bryce Canyon, I actually recorded a full bike ride through pretty much the entire national park. I'll share the history of the park, the history of Ruby's Inn. I'll share some statistics surrounding childhood cancer. So that is also going to be playing a pivotal role in the next couple months.
And put this, I'll work on a video as well to promote when I do my match one.
Thank you.
I'll do a video. I'll do like my intros and stuff. I'll do a I don't know, a 5-minute or 10-minute video on it, and I'll promote it on my channel as well.
Thank you, Eric. That really means a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good cause. You know, there's people that need it, and you know, anything we can do in this community, I know, I'm more than happy to do.
Awesome. Well, I think that's kind of, we'll wrap it up at an hour and a half here. I don't want to take over your night too long, and you always seem to do about an hour and a half, and that seems to be a good little fit. So I think I'm going to copy you.
Too, so it's
yeah, it's really late for you now.
Yeah. That's all right.
You
I
being
wouldn't
here.
have missed it for the world here. This is, I'm honored you had me on.
Thank you. It really means a lot to have you here. Like I said, I think you're just the perfect guest to have on tonight. It's just the amazing people I've met over the last year. I mean, you are just that prime example. Your generosity and your channel, watching it explode, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's real fun. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming in tonight. I believe Treasure Hunt with us is live, right?
Yeah, they went live about a half hour ago, or 20 minutes. Yeah, half hour ago.
For those in the Treasure Hunt community, I'd recommend go check them out. They're live. And until then, everyone have a great rest of your night.
See you guys later.